I know I sound mean, and I know what the people are thinking when I'm saying the stage she's only 15. Alright, but that's the discrepancy, because when you talk about a little girl like Elizabeth Smart, then the country feels like 15 is so young and so innocent. On the flip side, here comes 15 again. Now we're talking about a 15-year-old black.
Finally made it to our hotel. The traffic is ridiculous. Never again do I want to go through Boston. I'm sorry if you live in Boston. You probably deal with that traffic every day. Oh no, not me. So this is our hotel room. Da, 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 da. Oh, this is the TV. We got a king-size bed, which is bigger than our bed. Sweet. And the bathroom. Do, 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 do. And look it, check this out. Decent shampoo. It's not going to focus, but it's Bath & Body Works Coconut Lime Fabrina. I never know how to say that. See? Yay!
Tied up the vice. They didn't tie up the tools.
There be the cannon.
Oh, sweet.
Canada. Ooh, look at stuff down there too.
Laboratories.
In order to do that, you need your speed. So to get their speed, they take this little guy, throw it over the stern, take about 3 people to do this, and that would travel through the water like this. This would hold it upright. It would sort of stay still in the water, and this would pay out according to how fast the boat was going. As you can see, as this goes out, there are knots in it. And they would count the number of knots. You might have heard that you were going so many knots or nautical miles. Now, that was how they would get how fast this is going out. But they still need to get a rate or speed. You need 2 things. You need a time as well as a distance. So this would be a clock they would use, and this one I think is it a 30-second one? Might be a 30-second one. They have different ones down there. I don't know which one I picked up. Anyway, somebody would be timing this, and when that came to the end, the guy would holler out, mark, or something like that. He'd stop it. They'd count the number of knots. There's usually about a fathom between the knots. It varied, but if you know how much distance there is between the knots, you know how far you went in, say, half a minute, or how far you went in a minute, multiply that by 60, get your speed per hour. Find you go about 8 or 10 knots per hour, that's your average speed, and then they could figure out, well, we've been traveling for an hour, we must have gone 8 or 10 knots, we're at this latitude, we're going in, and they had a compass direction so they could get an idea of where they were. Just an idea. But as they went across, they would go out across a certain latitude, then they'd go down until they thought they got to a certain latitude, and then across. So it was like going down a stair step, because they couldn't tell really how far they were going east and west. They just had to deduce that. And then this kept a record of what they were doing. So this is a compass. And remember, the sailors all the time, they would go on watches. So a group of sailors would be on watch for 3 hours or so, 4 hours, and then they'd have to keep track of their distance and their speed. Maybe not all of them were literate. So during every half hour they would take a reading. So say they were going north, on the first reading they'd put, in the first circle they'd put one of these.
Forced to perform unspeakable rites, threatened us all with eternal damnation. Satan, he had come to New England so creatures like Cotton Mather said to undo God's kingdom, setting snares for the unwary. For forever watching, waiting to claim his own. Here is the Putnam House, typical of its day, everything in it plain and practical. People then had little time for play. The men in summer worked at farming or fishing. In winter they mended fences or nets, or went hunting in the woodlands for partridge or wild turkey. The women toiled the year round at cooking, washing, scrubbing and sanding the floors, molding tallow candles to light the long winter nights. For young people, especially girls, there was not much amusement. A girl like little Ann Putnam, having done her household duties, would not be encouraged to run and play, to meet boys, to be frivolous. Puritan God forbade it. Trapped as they were in this somber adult world, it is not surprising that girls of the time became restless and resentful. But the hand of authority was so heavy upon